guys, today I decided to record a video from my husband's car. I started to record it outside. I already grabbed the camera, but unfortunately we have very strong wind and couldn't record anything because my hair was flying. I couldn't concentrate because I don't have a windshield for my camera, so I decided, okay, Tesla is parked outside, so I'll record the video while I'm in this car. Anyway, I decided to record the video about my whole journey, how I was traveling from Sweden to the USA. It took me more than 30 hours, 1.5 day, something like that. We can calculate all together. Anyway, journey started at 8 p.m. from my sister's house. We were in the hotel at 9:15 or something like that. When my sister told me that it will be 1 hour drive from your house to the hotel, I'm like, what? Are you serious? Because if you travel from my sister's house to Stockholm city, it takes 25 minutes by train to downtown. Then from downtown, you can go to the airport on Arlanda Express, paying approximately $40. And it would take only 18 minutes. But because I had lots of luggage, so we decided to take Uber. My sister was surprised because she said, oh, taxi will be so expensive. And I said, no, Uber would cost only $60 or $70, something like that. So I said, no, this is really good price because we used to spend much more on taxis in some other countries like the UK. When we traveled there, it was bloody expensive. Anyway, so we checked in to our hotel, my hotel, at 9:30. Then I requested the crib. Then we took shower, all of that. I asked my sister to stay with me just because I had lots of luggage, and I asked her to help me to drop that luggage to Arlanda Airport, despite it was Clarion Hotel, which was exactly attached to the airport. But we were in Terminal 5, and I supposed to take off from Terminal 2 or 3? No, 2. Because in Terminal 3, they didn't want to print my boarding pass. Because I'm not an American citizen and I have a green card. And they said, oh, we don't know if you can travel to the USA via London, Heathrow Airport. I'm like, are you joking? I came to the US, I came from USA to Sweden in the same way. But at that time I had a valid UK visa. They said, yeah, but you had visa. But I told them, you know, I didn't leave airport and I was only in transit zone, so you should let me get my boarding pass. So the lady said, let's see what we can do. 15 minutes of my stress. It was already next morning. And then she said, yeah, just because you have green card, you can get on this airplane. Oh, it's hard to breathe just because we were in the church and we ate. Anyway. So we checked in to the hotel at 9:30. We went to bed at 11 o'clock. We woke up at 6:30. I took shower. I made Evelyn ready for our long journey. Then we went for breakfast in our hotel. And I said to my sister, exactly at 8 o'clock, we have to leave this hotel. So we left that hotel at 8 o'clock, and my flight's supposed to be at 11:15. So I thought, okay, I have 3 hours, so it will be enough time. But I didn't know that the distance from Terminal 2 to Terminal 5 is huge, massive. My sister said, okay, let's take Arlanda Express, because Arlanda Express travels between terminals without any problems, and we don't have to pay. But I told her, look at the amount of the stuff which we have. We had 2 suitcases, a stroller, my coach bag, Evelyn's backpack, then another bag with her hammock, and it was my neck pillow there, and something else. I forgot what was there. My scarf and our hats. Then I had a bag with food, because Evelyn always needs food. Then what else I had? Something else. So and my bag, which I was placing in front of me with documents and with passports. So I counted. We had 7 bags. Ta-da-da-dum. Anyway, we decided to walk. So we walked there, and In Terminal 2, I had to go through security check, and I was there. We flew to London. Surprisingly, they didn't ask lots of questions in Sweden, already on passport control. Only the lady who was printing boarding passes, she didn't know if she's allowed to get me on board of that plane. I was like, to say that I was pissed off, it means I didn't tell you anything. I was furious because I wanted to get back home so badly because Evelyn was driving me nuts there. Anyway, we landed 30 minutes early in Heathrow Airport, and I should have had only 2 hours of transit time, but because we landed earlier, that's why I had 2 hours and a half of free time. And I was like, yay, finally I can get Tom Ford perfume for myself. So just we got to Terminal 5, and I saw that my flight to the USA supposed to be from Terminal 5, and I was like, whoa, I'm lucky, so I will have some free time to buy perfume for myself and to put Evelyn to sleep. Then I saw that Evelyn was cranky. I put her to sleep. I went to the guys who sell Tom Ford perfumes. I said, can you please spray for me Lost Cherry and Electric Cherry, just because I want to buy it, but I don't remember which one I smelled. And they said, yeah, sure. So I told them I would be back in 15 minutes. I was back 10 minutes later. I bought myself a perfume, and then they said, oh, we are giving you a 20% discount on any purchases here, and maximum discount which I could get, 200 British pounds. I thought about Gucci or Louis Vuitton shoes, but I didn't have time. And I was like, oh, I'm lucky, I can get discount. But then I saw that I have to run to my gates. I came to the gates, and they told me, oh, 10 minutes more and we will start boarding. So I woke Evelyn up just because she had to walk by herself, because my plan was to give her stroller at the gate. And I thought, oh, she will be okay within 10 minutes. And then after 5 minutes, I woke her up. 5 minutes later, they told us, oh, the flight is delayed 1 hour and a half. Imagine what was after 1 hour and a half. The flight was delayed again. And it was delayed 40 minutes. Then it was delayed again, 40 minutes. And there was a lady with the kids, and she said, you know, I have heard that they said that the flight was canceled, but they are not telling us. I was like, are you freaking serious? I was like, I wanna get back home to my husband so badly. And she said, yeah, me too. Anyway, they were trying to find a spare aircraft, but they couldn't. And they told us that the flight was cancelled, and they gave us 10 British pounds vouchers for food. I'm like, are they joking? I spent only during those 3 hours which we were waiting, I spent already approximately 50 British pounds, because I had to buy coffee, I had to buy some snacks, I had to buy smoothies, water. And they told us, oh, the flight is cancelled, and we don't have a spare aircraft, so you will be flying tomorrow, and you have to go and talk to information desk or clients managers, or I don't remember how they call them. Anyway, to some representatives. So I went down. I went to passport control, like all people did, and they told me, you can't get out from the airport because you don't have a plane ticket yet. So you have to wait. You're gonna get it in your email, and when you're gonna get that air ticket, you can come to passport control, and we will let you get out. But for now, we cannot, just because you are Ukrainian and you're supposed to have ETA. Because my daughter, she's an American, she doesn't have to have ETA. Actually, she has, but it was still valid for another month or so. But the problem was with me. So they said, okay, you have to go back to the airport, and you have to ask some of British Airways representatives to issue for you air tickets, and then we will let you get out from the airport. So I went there, And they said, oh yeah, you already have an air ticket. I'm like, great. And I was like, okay, what about the hotel? Because they told us, get out from the airport and then talk to a representative there. And the gentleman said, yeah, we're going to give you a hotel which will be 15 minutes away from here. And I was really shocked. I told him, okay, so how do you want me to get to that hotel from the airport? And he said, by bus. Easy as that, you know, pregnant woman with a toddler and with lots of luggage, by bus. And I told him, are you freaking joking? I cannot go there by bus because I have lots of luggage, and it was your mistake, your error, call it whatever. It is your problem to put me in the hotel which is connected to the airport. And he said, no, we don't do that. I was like, why? Because we don't have hotels which are connected to the airport. I'm like, Google says something different. What you're telling me right now? And he was like, yeah, but we don't give vouchers to Sofitel. Because I Googled and I saw that Sofitel is attached to Heathrow Airport. I told him, I don't care if you give vouchers to Sofitel or not, but I want to sleep in a place which is connected to the airport. So I would not have to deal with transportation and with all that luggage, because when I was traveling from Sweden, my sister put me exactly on a plane, and I just had to land in Chicago and just go talk to my husband, hug my husband, kiss my husband. And he said, ma'am, we are sorry. I was like, okay, call the manager. He went and spoke to his manager, and guess what? Ta-da-da-da! I got vouchers to Sofitel. And then I asked him, okay, what about dinner and breakfast? And he said, yeah, you are getting vouchers for dinner and for breakfast. So we went to Sofitel. It took me a really long time to find Sofitel. I forgot to mention that I had to wait in a long queue in the airport for passport control, at the passport control, to get my passport stamped. Anyway, we got to the hotel at 8 p.m. We went for dinner at 9:10 or 9:15, something like that. We ate there. Food was there. It was okay. Everything was overfried. We don't like and we don't eat overfried food. But we ate because we were hungry. And then we went to our hotel room, and guess what happened? So I asked the girls on the reception, please send me the crib. So it took them 1 hour to send us the crib. The third time when I called on the reception, I was already shouting. I was like, don't you understand that it is 11 p.m. and my kid has to sleep, and we are flying tomorrow transatlantic. Can't you just hurry? And they were like, hey, yeah, we're coming. So I put Evelyn to sleep at 11 o'clock. I went to bed at 12 o'clock. Next day we woke up at 8 o'clock, went for breakfast. Breakfast was okay. I cannot say that it was great. It was okay. In Orlando, in Clarion Hotel, oh my God, breakfast was like in 5-star hotel. Despite that, hotel was only 3 stars. And as my husband said, that Sofitel is 5-star hotel. I'm like, are you freaking serious? So next day, we went to the airport, and we were in Terminal 5, and my flight was from Terminal 3. It was an American airline, and I talked to some representatives, and they said, we can't help you. You have to get to Terminal 3 by yourself. I was like, how? And they were like, by train. I said, okay, it sounds good for you, but for me, I'm pregnant, and I have a kid with me, and plus lots of luggage. I need some help. They were like, oh, we can't provide you any help. I said, okay, I need help. Where's the manager? Call the manager. They said, okay, go to another place, section E, and you will find some managers there. Another gentleman came to me later when I was walking already to section E, and he said, did my colleagues help you? I was like, no, they didn't. And he said, what's the problem? So I explained everything to him, and he said, let me double check. So he went somewhere, he spoke to someone, and he said, okay, here is my colleague. She will help you to get to Terminal 3, and you have to speak to Ed, and Ed knows about you, and he will sort out everything for you. I said, are you sure Ed will sort everything for me. He said, yeah, yeah, he will be waiting for you. So when I got there, I spoke to a lady, and she said that she knows about my situation, and she will handle everything for me. So they gave me boarding passes. They re-registered my luggage, and imagine what they told me, that I don't have assigned seats. Da-da-da-da! I'm like, are you freaking serious? I want to get back home as soon as possible. So they looked in the system and they said, you're gonna get seats for sure. So it's not like you're flying standby. I was like, please don't do that to me. So when I got already to the gates, we had seats 33K and 33J. And we were flying to the USA. We came here. I couldn't find my stroller. Nothing surprising, right? And I was going here and there, back and forth, and I was talking to different representatives, and they don't know anything about my stroller. But imagine what happened. They delivered my stroller to the aircraft. What? They told me I have to collect it on the belt inside airport. But another representative of an American airline told me that just because it had purple tag, so they should have gotten it into my hands. I was like, gosh. And I was holding all of that shit, all those bags in my hands. I was walking, it was so hard. And then I gave one bag to Evelyn, actually 2 bags. She had her backpack with toys, and then I gave her a bag with food, and I said, Evelyn, this is your responsibility. And at that time I was like, okay, if she loses it, it's gonna be her problem, because that backpack has all her toys and small bag had only her food. And that's it. This is the end of the story.